seconds.
What exactly do you mean
Well, I
by
was
that?
getting prepared to come outside. I was pretty institutional. I was comfortable in prison. You know, everything. You know, I had no stress outside in the world. I had nothing but stress when I was out there last time, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it, and I was disastrous when I came out. I won a lot of money, but the life was too fast for me when I came out. Everything was moving too quick.
What was the toughest part of the adjustment back afterwards?
Yes, people, and violent. When I came out of prison, I was really violent for some reason. I was just violent, and I got in a lot of trouble, of course, because I was violent when I came out. And I think I was real bitter when I came out. That's the reason I was that way.
Are you bitter now because?
So as you can see, time in prison alone will not necessarily change your behavior. It may also make it worse. So time in prison is not a way to rehabilitate prisoners, but it's more of a way to actually punish them. And therefore, we need to find an alternative method, and this method is through music and art. So one of the examples that I will be using is the art of literature. So the art of literature can actually change the perspective of prisoners, especially gang members who have conflicts with other gangs or races in prison itself, and even outside in the streets. So one example would be from my research. Basically, I did a research about a woman named Erin Gruel, who was a teacher in California. She managed to bring students from low-income families and also students who had gang affiliations together as one through the art of literature. So she was able to make the students see past their racial conflicts with one another and let them read books about conflicts. And from there, they actually found out that their lives were parallel to the stories, and it actually reflects their own lives. So they managed to gain interest in literature due to how they found um, how it actually reflects their lives. So from there, they actually viewed the world with a whole new perspective, and some of them actually felt that what they're doing is wrong after reading the book, and thought that what um, the story was telling is wrong. So they change their perspective in life, and actually some of the students actually made it to college. So my next point will be art is a good way to control anger, which a lot of prisoners tend to have lack of control it. So I did research about Judy Groves and Tonya Huber, who is an art instructor and a professor of educations, respectively. So both of them managed to use art to understand troubled youths better, and they managed to get these students to together to form a community after exposing them to art. So through art, the students managed to understand self-control, respect, learning from mistakes, and working cooperatively, which is essential for ex-convicts who are released into the outside world after multiple years of staying inside a prison with no proper understanding of working together. So my third point would be music actually calms the mind and body, and thus it helps with anxiety, um, depression, and also anger issues. Just like my previous point, anger issues is one of the main points, one of the main factors that affect prisoners. So research has shown that music actually relaxes both your psychological and physiological aspects of a person. So music helps release endorphins in the brain, which creates a similar effect to morphine on the body. So it not only affects the mind, it also controls your nervous systems, heart rate, respiration rate, and blood pressure, which is essential for calming yourself down. So next, music can counter violence, which is very important for ex-convicts who probably had who were probably charged for assault and battery or whatnot. So a study in Munich has shown that music can counter violence, and the study actually consisted of children with history in aggressions, and they were given a simple instrument to play, and the children will then play a basic beat, and they will take turns to lead the whole band, and some of them may even be chosen for specific tasks in the band and all that, and the children will slowly improvise on the music, and due to that they actually learn how to cooperate with one another, and they will have respect with for one another. So lastly, music therapy for prisoners. I've done research about this, and I read through a few research about this, and there is actually this music therapy for prisoners is actually um, being used. So it's already being used in correctional facilities for decades, and so far only 3 studies have taken place, and in all 3 studies, the results were good, and they showed significant changes in the prisoners' view of life, mood, and emotions, which is essential for change. Right. So basically, in conclusion, there are many examples of ex-convicts who have changed their life uh, through the means of art and music. For example, some rappers used to have a history in violence, or they've even been into prison, and uh, they actually resorted to making music, making rap music, um, to prevent them from actually going back to the streets and doing what they did, that and then made them end up in prison. So another example would be the late Muhammad Ali. He actually got into the art of boxing. Yes, martial arts is also a form of art, and Muhammad Ali actually got into boxing because a police officer actually found out that he was about to beat up the other kid who stole his bike, and he got hold of Muhammad Ali and told him that he should focus his anger on something else, which is the art of boxing, so that you don't actually commit a crime. And from there, most boxers actually go through the same problem, and from there they actually make a living for themselves and got them out of the street and trouble. So basically, music and art has proven to have effects on physical and emotional well-being of a person, and this is why it should be enforced in prisons as a rehabilitation method due to the scientific benefits that it provides. Thank you.